Hey yo, what is good YouTube? It's your boy Mason. We're back with another haircut tutorial. In this haircut we're doing a big transformation. I mean an epic, like serious transformation. So right now we're just putting on the neck strip. Just go ahead and properly set up the client to get ready for his haircut. So right now we're gonna start off and picking out the hair. And when I'm picking it out, since I know I'm cutting it off, I'm really just trying to lift the hair instead of picking it, like, you know what I'm saying, really picking it. So yeah, as you pick, just it's really self-explanatory, just pick it. And so right now I'm setting my first guideline with my Andis T outline GXO, I think. And I'm just setting in that first guideline. We're gonna go to a low taper, so I'm just setting it right kind of where the ear is. And as you can see, we're taking down the hair with my Andis Master. And I'm just floating right now. So I'm taking it down to a wavelength cut. So we really end it off with like a 1 3/4, which is about the 1 1/2 with the wall guards. And yeah, this is the first time he ever cut his hair like low like this. First, I've been cutting him for about like 2 years now, 1 1/2, 2 years now. And I've never seen him with his hair this low. I never even took anything off the top of his head. So he just came in one of the different styles. So that's what we're gonna give him, man. And as you can see, the dude knocked out in the back of the video. I'm like, people like in the shop, they see I record, but they decide to sit there and go to sleep. But I can't control that. But right now I'm coming in with my 1 1/2 guard, and I'm just coming in, I'm just knocking down the hair. As you can see, I'm not going all the way to the back of the hair, and I did leave a lot of hair in the front to see if he has any cowlicks or anything like that, because like I said, I never cut his hair down before. So these are the two main safety spots. As you can see, where I'm cutting around and I'm leaving hair in the crown and the front lineup. That's the biggest points that you want to make sure that you have the angle right. So that's the reason why I cut it down like that, just to see if the hair growth pattern changes in any way before it reached the front lineup. And as you can see, he really didn't have any cowlicks in his hair. His hair would lay down perfectly. So I just went ahead and just started cutting, because you, like, over a while, you'll start to identify and notice where the hair growth pattern changes and stuff like that. So as you can see, I'm just going in and I'm making sure everything is even. Now I'm gonna come in with my number 2 detachable, because the number 2 detachable is true to length. So with that being true to length, I'm just going in, I'm just cutting everything, because he said he really wanted like a 2, but actually he didn't know the length. He showed me a picture, but I did like a 1 1/2 open. So a number 2, actual number 2, is just gonna lay the hair down and gonna take off that extra length. So right now I'm just coming in and I'm just going with the grain, making sure I'm getting everything, and just really setting myself up with a clean canvas. I'm going to go over his head again once I do actually fade out everything, but I wanted to make sure that everything was good and even before I started working, because I don't want to work around patches of hair. Like, that's not, you won't get a clean product because you're not working around clean things. So you want to make sure that you have everything laid down perfect. And if y'all haven't seen him, I posted him in one of my videos not too long ago, probably like 3 tutorials ago, and it was just like a low drop fade. So he was going from a low drop fade to low temp fade. And so right now, as you can see, I'm just following the hair growth, and I'm setting in my last guideline in the back of his head for the neck taper. And I'm going up pretty high, I'm not going to lie. The only reason I'm going up pretty high is because I know where his occipital bone is in the back of his head, and it's going to turn out perfect. It's not going to look too high at all. And as you can see, I'm just touching my lines again, because when you cut down hair and you lay it down, more hair is going to lay over. So you just want to make sure that you're combing and cutting, combing and cutting, and combing and cutting. So right now I'm taking my wall seniors and I'm going with my lever fully open. I'm going up about 1 inch, and I'm immediately fading out that line. I don't want to waste any time to come back to that line, because me personally, I fade better when I fade out my lines first with my tapers. And I'm coming in with my 1 1/2 fully open, and I'm going behind the ear, because sometimes the guard doesn't get behind the ear that well because of the angle of the head. So I'm just making sure like I have everything straight. And now I'm just gonna come my lever fully closed, and now I move down to my number 1 guard fully open, and I'm going up about 1 inch right underneath. I'm just going down with my number 1 closed, and I'm now just starting to flick out, really using my corners and kind of just attacking the line that I want to hit. And yeah, it's all about finesse, especially with like a low fade. You want to make sure that you have enough hair so you can do the C cup and stuff like that. So it's all about finesse. Now I'm coming in with my 1/16, which is the 0 guard, and I'm coming in fully open and then fully closed, and then I do clip over comb work just to really detail that fade and kind of get all dark spots that I do see and go ahead and get them out. Me personally, man, I think this is a great haircut to start off 2022 with. If you're new watching this, make sure you subscribe. Make sure you subscribe and make sure you like the video if you do like it. And as you can see, I'm coming around with my number 2 fully closed, and I'm going around the head in the back, kind of starting off my taper in the back, but I just ended up using that just to kind of like clean up space for the back of the head and the side of the head and stuff like that. And so right now, I'm coming in with my lever fully open, same steps as the other side, and I'm just going to follow that same step. And I want to give a shout out to everybody watching, man. I really do appreciate it. We're growing really fast on this channel, man. And I personally, I just think this year is gonna be a good year. I'm not gonna lie to you, I really do. And let's get it, man. Like I'm pushed, I'm motivated, I'm into it. Like I'm really back into this haircut. I'm really back into making videos, posting content. I'm motivated, I'm inspired. I'm not gonna lie. There's a barber that I was watching on YouTube. He inspired me a lot. His name is Low Temp Fade. This man is like a preacher barber, man. It's actually one of the craziest things ever, because he would do a fade on one side, and then on the other side was the same thing. He would go ahead and explain and talk about what Bible verse he was reading and stuff like that. I know a lot of people not spiritual, but it's just uplifting to watch it and, you know, to hear it. And so I did the side taper, and I'm gonna put his link in my description underneath, so y'all can go ahead and subscribe to him, man. He's growing really fast, so y'all better hop on the train right now. And in the back, it's the same steps. As you can see, I set up my first guideline with my lever fully open, and I drastically put in that guideline. This is like literally like 1.5 inches. And that's really because I want the back taper to kind of pop. You know what I'm saying? Because it's a low taper on the sides. His head shape wouldn't fit with a low taper in the back. So I kind of raised up the taper to about like a high taper. And over a while, like, you'll understand head shapes, and then you'll figure out how to, you know what I'm saying, how to attack the different haircuts. And so I'm coming in with my 1.5 fully open and fully closed. Now I'm going in with my number 1 fully open and fully closed, and then we're just fading, man. Like, I'm doing clip over comb, hitting spots. Say like if I take my 1 guard up too high, then I'll have to do clip over comb to fix that dark spot that I just created. Now I have my 1/16, and I'm going fully open, fully closed, using my corners a lot, attacking all angles. Really just trying to knock out this back taper for real. And as you can see, it's already basically faded. Like, for real, he has this type of grain of hair. It's super easy to fade. It doesn't give you any trouble. It's real easy. So right now I'm coming in with my absolute hitters, man. And this TR line is my favorite trimmers ever. There's not a better trimmer in terms of power, sharpness, and everything. That it checks the box off on everything. So I'm coming in, I'm shaping up. I don't want to push his line back, but since I did cut it down, his hair is hanging over, so it's not a pushback. It's just cutting off more hair. So right now, as you can see, that line is set in place after I combed it. You want to make sure you use your clipper like a pencil. Just use the corner of your clippers like a pencil. Make sure they're not too sharp, and go ahead and draw that neckline out. That's my favorite. Second favorite part of the haircut. My favorite part of the haircut is is the razor. Using that razor and bringing everything together. But the neckline is the second favorite thing. Also, I want to give a big shout out to Magic Waves for making this beat. This beat is incredible. He's on fire, man. Like, for real. So right now I'm starting off with the middle lineup, with the front lineup. I'm starting out in the middle. I work my way to the side that I'm standing on, which is his left and which is my right. And I'm just working my way to the side, looking in the mirror directly in front of me, and I'm just shaping them up with the Andis GTX. These are the new cordless Andis GTX. And as you can see, it's putting a line in there, so we just go ahead and attacking that line. He has one of those shape ups you don't have to go over a lot of times to get a sharp line, so it's real simple. And as you can see, I asked him, like, did he want a C cup? And I asked him that because when he showed me the picture, the taper was kind of like a high taper with a C cup. But I'm like, his head didn't have enough space for a high taper with a C cup. So I asked him, I was like, man, do you want to get a C cup still? And he was like, yeah, he wants a C cup. So it kind of ended up perfect. So I'm just, did the C cup. Now I'm tacking that front line up back. I go back to the first place where I put my first line, and now I'm moving over to my left side. And you never want to work against yourself. If you're standing on the right, don't go to the left. If you're standing on the left, don't go to the right. If you stand on the right, go to the right. If you stand on the left, go to the left. You don't want to work against yourself. It's gonna make lines lopsided. You don't want to cut what you can't see. Make sure you look at what you're cutting, and you're focused and you're cutting that one thing. And right now the lineup is kind of like almost straight. It's not going to take much to get it back straight. His hair density is not very. He doesn't have like his hair density is not that dense. It's kind of less dense. So his lineup is not. Once he starts brushing, it's going to become more thick. But right now, since we're cutting off and his hair is basically standing up still, the lineup does not look as full, but it is full though. You know what I'm saying? So like over time, he's brushing, putting his do-rag, laying his hair down, his lineup is going to appear more full because then it's going to be more dense. You know what I'm saying? Because everything is laying down. So right now I'm fading out the sideburns. And when you fade out the sideburns, it's really the same steps as fading out anything else. I just start with my biggest guard and work my way down. And now I'm just doing clip over comb. This is a pro tip. After you put a line on anything that you faded, like a shape up line or anything like that, you'll be able to see all dark spots in the haircut that you missed. So it's like best that you go ahead and attack. You know what I'm saying? It's best that you, after you put a shape up on somebody, make sure you go back in detail because you're going to see a lot of things that you didn't see before because there's no contrast. You know what I'm saying? So when you see your point of contrast, it's going to be way better. So right now I'm coming in with some mousse, and I forgot the brand name. I'm not going to lie. I got it from the guy that was selling them, you know what I'm saying, off the back of the truck. He comes to the barbershop. He's a supply guy. And I bought it from him, and so I'm just laying down the hair. This is something I like to use with wavers that's trying to get waves and make their hair, you know what I'm saying, kind of pop a little bit. So right now I'm coming in with my blow dried with medium heat, not very high heat. I'm not a fan of hot heat. I like to use medium heat, and I just come in and I'm just laying it down with my hand. I'm not really into using brushes unless it's brand new. And you're gonna see I did use a brush today. This came straight out the package, and I'm not using it no more after this. But I'm just coming in, I'm just brushing. And the reason I'm not into using brushes on haircuts is because it's not sanitary. It is not sanitary. You can't put a brush in barbicide and it can't get clean because it's phosphorus. I think that's the word, porous, or whatever the word is, my bad. But it has pores in it. So that means germs, bacteria can seep into it. In a comb, it doesn't have pores on it. So you can put the comb in the barber side and then you can clean the comb. But a brush you cannot clean. So if you're a barber using brushes, I know in some states it's not illegal, but in DC it's illegal. In a barber board, you're not really supposed to use a brush. So unless it's fresh out the package, you can't reuse a brush. But I know in some states, you know, the barber board doesn't really care, their state barber board. But if we're being technical, it's not sanitary. And if you believe it's sanitary, let me know why, and I'll let you know why it's not. It's really simple, to be honest with you. So right now I'm just re-attacking the line, just coming back and making sure the lineup is straight. And I'm telling y'all, when I put the razor on this lineup, it's going to be a whole different lineup. And right now it's not super sharp, and I'm not using enhancements, but I'm telling you, the razor, it should be labeled as an enhancement, man, because it takes every haircut to the next level. So right now I'm freehanding. After you put on the mousse and you get in a little session of laying the hair down, you want to come back and you want to attack all those roach, like those flyaway hairs. So everything that's standing up, you want to attack that. So I'm just making sure, like, when he goes home, he's getting a brush session, nothing is going to be standing up too wild, except for the hair that's already standing up. But you kind of want to make uniform. This is how you finish off a haircut. You take a good haircut to great by just doing small stuff like using your scissors, your shears, and using your razor. And that stuff like that, that's going to make clients come back to you and everything. So right now we're coming in with the razor, and we're shaping up his facial hair. Last time I shaped up his facial hair, somebody said they don't really like when people don't cut off their sideburns. The thing is, man, we gotta understand people gonna do what they wanna do. What you think for you that's working good for you is not gonna work out for somebody else. So just keep your thoughts to yourself, man. And y'all get what I'm saying. If it's not you, it really don't matter at the end of the day. But we just coming in, we're shaping up his facial hair, and we just kind of keeping it, putting a curve on it, and then we're just, putting a line on the lineup, making sure we use that razor at a good angle so we're not cutting the skin. You'll feel it. You don't want the razor to pull, you want it to glide. So make sure you have it at the angle where it's gliding. And that razor just took the haircut to the next level, man. And YouTube, that's really the haircut, man. If y'all enjoyed it, leave a thumbs up, leave a comment, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. Follow me on Instagram at MasoCutz, MasoCutz, and I'm out. Peace.